In this video, we're going to have a brief discussion regarding the State Cup 2019. We're going to go through some dates, a few rule changes, a quick discussion on Far West Regionals, and also President's Cup. State Cup will be held for the U13 to U19 boys and girls age groups on May 24th through the 27th, which is our typical Memorial Weekend. It'll be held at the Simpot Sports Complex in Boise. The entry fee will be $750, and the deadline to enter is going to be March the 15th. If you're wondering about roster freeze deadlines, they typically happen about 14 days prior to the tournament starting, and that notification will be sent to the entries as and when we have it. Let's go over a couple of the rule changes. First of all, we've moved the U18s back to Memorial Weekend. We moved it away from the Directors' Cup weekend because the games would be crammed into a very short space of time. By moving them to Memorial Weekend, we've given the U18s an extra day, so we're able to stretch the games out. You can now replace an injured player after the freeze date as long as they have a medical note. In prior years you weren't able to do this, but now you can. We've removed the third and fourth place game thanks to popular request. A lot of teams did not like competing in those third, fourth place games, and often we didn't see them pick up their medals. They weren't really that keen to play that game, and it often cost them another night in the hotel. So we've just removed them. You can now add coaches anytime up until 1 hour before the game. You were always able to change your coaches on your roster, but it wasn't very well known. So we've just put this rule in there for clarification. A summary of these changes can be found on the Idaho Youth Soccer website on the State Cup page. It's a PDF that can easily be read, and it gives you more justification for why we changed some of these rules. Far West Regionals this year will be on June 17th to the 23rd and will be held here in Boise. The State Cup winners are mandated to attend the Far West Regional event. If you fail to attend the event once you've qualified for it, it will result in a $5,000 fine. This is applied at the regional level. President's Cup this year will be held on June 11th to 16th in Norco, California at the Silver Lakes Complex. If you want to be considered for President's Cup, you must declare it on your State Cup application form. The way that we decide who goes, it's the highest placed team other than the winner that declared that they wanted to go. So if you are the State Cup champion, you will not go to President's Cup. You will not get the option to go to President's Cup. If you finish second or third or fourth or fifth or sixth, whatever your place, and you are higher than the next person that wanted to go, then you will be the one selected to go to President's Cup. For example, if you finish dead last in your bracket and nobody else wanted to go, you'd be the one going to President's Cup because you're the only one that was selected. If you finish second in your bracket and there's a team in another bracket that finished second, we would apply the tiebreaker rules to decide which one finished higher than the other, and then that team would be selected to go. If you fail to attend, if you've qualified or selected to go to President's Cup, it will cost you a $5,000 fine, again applied regionally. You have to think about this very, very carefully before deciding if you want to be considered for this event. And the following slide will give you a few extra pointers to help you decide what you want to do. Things to consider before committing to go to President's Cup. You're only going to have about 2 weeks to prepare and book flights and hotels once State Cup is finished in order to go to President's Cup. Ontario is the closest airport, and ticket prices as of January for a June trip were in excess of $400 when I looked. So these are likely to rise much higher the closer you get to the event time. The event is stay to play. Hotels right now on the list start around $170 per night, but choices will dwindle the closer the event gets here, and some are going to be over $200 plus. You can opt out of the stay to play, but it will cost you $1,500, but you can book wherever you want after you've paid that amount. You're only going to have about 2 to 3 days after State Cup to submit a President's Cup roster. This is very important. Typically we have a little bit longer to do it, but the region has set an earlier deadline, which means that you're going to have to know what your President's Cup roster is pretty quick after State Cup. In years past, These rosters have been made up with various players from within the club, but it takes a few days to organise, ask a few people. People will drop off after State Cup. It just happens every year. Well, now you've only got 2 days to do it, or 2 to 3 days to get that done. So you need to have all your ducks in a row. Failure to follow through with any commitment will result in the regional $5,000 fine and possible further sanctions. This is not the first time I've mentioned it during this video, but I promise it will be the last. It is very important that you understand that. We have had teams fined in the past. In fact, it almost happens every single year that a team decides not to follow through with their commitment and they will end up getting fined. So even though the President's Cup may seem like an exciting event to go to now, I can tell you it's quite a different story when you get to State Cup and realise you haven't won State Cup, and now you have to turn around in 2 weeks and go to an event in California. So please consider everything before you mark yes on your commitment to go to President's Cup. Regardless of whether you go to Regionals or President's Cup, IOSA will pick up the fee for the entry fee. We get that all paid up front, and so you actually don't have to pay it. We will also enter your teams for you, so you don't have to do that either. We try and make life as simple as possible because you've really got those quick turnaround times after State Cup to get ready for the next event. I think that about covers everything. If you have any questions regarding anything in this video, you can either go to our website, click on the Tournaments tab and then State Cup, and you should see some more information there. Or you can give us a call at the office at 208-336-5256, or you can email me at the email listed on your screen. Thank you.